So hello guys, and today we're going to talk about a B2 level example of a monologue. And before we continue, let's be honest. Escuela Oficial de Idiomas does not provide us with any comprehensive information about what is the criteria that they use to evaluate the candidates of this particular part, except for the student's guide that you can download from their website. But to be completely honest, after having taught English for about 10 years now, I honestly cannot really decipher it, because all they say is that you have to use the adequate range of vocabulary, for example, and they give absolutely no examples that adequate level. Also, if you study in Escuela Oficial de Idiomas, you spend 2 years studying for this particular level, and the first year you study with B2 level coursebook, and the second year is with C1 level coursebook. The reason for that is completely beyond my understanding, since C1 is so much more difficult than B2. So in order to prepare a monologue that I actually would consider ready in order to pass this part, what I did is I created a monologue that would pass the first certificate of Cambridge with flying colors. And then what I did is that I made it 20% more difficult, which, to be honest, in my opinion, based on practice over these years, that is more or less exactly what you should be aiming at in order to pass this part and not be risking failing at all just because the monologue didn't go that well. So let us begin. So for this example, the topic that I decided to use is a topic that comes up fairly often, and it is that of eating habits and experiences. Hello, my name is Stan, and today I'm going to talk about healthy habits in nutrition and also about different food experiences. And I believe that that is absolutely amazing how in the recent years, the general public has started to actually understand and pay a lot of attention to their nutrition. I believe that people are becoming increasingly more interested in nutrition, since it is so important for old and young, especially to prevent those diseases that come from our bad eating habits. And the first topic that I would like to talk about would be fast food versus healthy eating habits. When it comes to fast food, we generally understand and associate fast food with junk food, with restaurants such as McDonald's, Burger King, pizza places, kebabs, and basically anything that's generally very unhealthy. And these options are fairly popular in Spain, despite it being so famous because of the Mediterranean diet. And I believe that this happened because of two reasons. The first reason would be the price. And I'm saying that because the average menu in McDonald's, for example, would be about 7 to 10 euros. Meanwhile, if you go to a healthier version of to a healthier restaurant, it would cost you anywhere between 10 and 15 euros. And of course, it could go even higher if you decide to go to a more expensive restaurant. So a family of 4 would save quite a bit of money if they decide to go to a McDonald's rather than to a more expensive luxurious restaurant. And there is also that your food is generally prepared almost instantly. So imagine that you are shopping in the city center and you just want to sit down for a quick meal and be ready as soon as possible to continue shopping and lose as least time as possible. In this case, a quick meal on Burger King definitely would be the best option for you. However, we all know that the price that we pay for eating fast food generally is big harm to our health. So the second topic I would like to discuss today would be genetically modified food versus organic food. And I think that a lot of people don't really think about this topic, but when you actually sit down and consider the consequences, it can be a little bit scary. And in a big part, that is because we don't really know a lot about the consequences of consuming large quantities of organically modified food. The alternative would be to buy organic food, for example, at your local market. But the problem with this option is that it can be a lot more costly. For example, a kilogram of organic tomatoes can cost as much as 3 times the price of supermarket tomatoes. The next topic I would like to discuss is typical dishes from different countries. And I find it very amazing that practically everybody has at least some notions of those different cuisines. We all know what we typically can find in an Italian restaurant, in a Chinese restaurant, in a Japanese restaurant. Things like sushi, for example, actually are getting more and more important nowadays. We see more restaurants being opened of those cuisines, and more people going for those options. Actually, every single major city has a wide range of cuisines and experiences that you can have from all the different possibilities that the world has to offer. And I think that this change came about majorly because of the globalization. I mean, definitely globalization has some negative aspects to it. I think it is a little bit of a controversial topic, but one of the benefits that we acquired from it is that nowadays we can actually know what would be some of the typical dishes from Korea, which is something that was a complete mystery about 20 years ago. And what is more, you can also choose between fusion restaurants and those restaurants that opt for a more traditional representation of the cuisine of the country they represent. To sum up, I would like to say that I find it absolutely amazing that people are starting to understand so much about the effects of a good, healthy diet, about the fact that overweight or obesity can affect your health very, very badly. And people are starting to take action against that. Now, of course, there is a lot of misinformation still lying around, but little by little, people are finding those good sources of information, good YouTube channel, good blog and influencers that provide as much of useful information as possible. And since one of the effects of good diet is that it can prevent a lot of different illnesses, I think that it is also very important that we do not stop educating ourselves about food. Thank you very much. So I hope this video was useful for you. And remember that should you have any questions, please post those in the comment section and I will try to answer them as soon as possible. Now, I hope you have a great week and a great day, and see you in our next video.